But this did reverberate around the world, David. Now, you have noted numerous times the United States of America was doing very well, thank you very much, without an income tax until 1913. Is this Trump bravado and bluster and posturing for negotiation, or do you think this could really happen?
It would take some serious work to really happen. And by the way, I'd be all for it, 100%. Let's get rid of the income tax and so many other regressive taxes on our citizens. The average American pays over 55 different taxes per year, according to the American Tax Foundation. And just look on the back of your cell phone bill, look at your cable bill. There are taxes everywhere. You get taxed on the income you earn. You pay sales tax to buy goods with that income you've got. And then you have to pay property taxes on what you've purchased. It's unfair. It's unethical. But again, what we're here to do is not tell you what the policy is going to be. We're going to react in real time to what the policy is and show you the best and most probable moves to reduce or eliminate and mitigate those different types of taxes you face in your life. Now, what's interesting about this is, yes, he would love to. It is more Trump rhetoric at this point. It would take talk about an act of Congress. I think it would actually take a convention of states, Chip, to make a constitutional amendment where you would have, you'd have to have 2/3 of the states ratify no taxation as part of our Constitution.
I mentioned 1913, the year before the Constitution was amended, and then Congress put it into statute. The code we have now,
with the bipartisan world we live in. Let's face it, there's about. Trump did win with a decent majority in this election, but it wasn't 60%, right? When you have a 4 percentage point swing, that's pretty wide in the political divide today. It would take a 60% margin in Congress and Senate to really change this, and I see zero chance of that happening in the next 4 years. Mm-hmm. So the idea that income taxes would be eliminated is ludicrous at this point. However, could they be reduced? Could we replace some of that revenue all of the tariffs? And that's an absolute 100% certainty. Now, our new Treasury Secretary, who got it got confirmed earlier this past week,
Scott
Bessent, yeah, brilliant guy, and he's the same thing. He would love to see us eventually work to that. So what I think is you're going to see a buildup. Now, what will happen is if you really want to see income taxes eliminated, that might be 12 to 15 years out, if our debt were to actually reduce on some of their projected plans. But you got to remember, when we had 70% of our revenue coming from tariffs before we enacted income tax, we were only having to pay a very small sum of money to interest payments. The debt was less than 3% of our GDP. So it was nothing, It would be like me having to pay a $100 bill a month at the income level I'm at versus somebody else. And so it's very different. And so today,
debt now exceeds GDP, doesn't it?
Yeah, we're at 126% as we sit here this morning.
So that's like saying if I make $100,000, but I owe $126,000, right?
So what we're going to do is, hey, we're going to stop paying you. Yeah, that's what you're saying, right? And how are you going to get rid of that debt? So I believe we could work to it. It could be realistic to set the country on a path there. And again, I think capitalism is back in America. I'm optimistic on that. And I think we need to get back to teaching the basics of math.